Hello, my name is Mossy. Welcome to the channel, and I'm going to tell you why I still play a 4-year-old first-person shooter game. Okay, so Titanfall 2's movement is possibly the best movement in any first-person shooter game that I've probably ever played, and still is probably the top movement system for any shooter game. The movement system allows you to sprint, it allows you to wall run, it allows you to be super agile, it allows you to chain together movements to create fluidity in the game that is probably unlike any other game of its kind. And when you get to a level where you can chain all these movements together and shoot people at the same time, you you do feel like an absolute boss when playing the game. You know, you might pop off once in a game, you know, you might get 3 or 4 kills in a row sliding around corners or running on a wall or grappling, and you feel like you're doing an amazing job. That is where the skill to this game probably comes into play. It's not so much as the shooting or the Titan battles. I would say top tier skill to learn in Titanfall 2 is just the movement. The more movement you can do, the more momentum you can maintain throughout the map, the more you will be a decent Titanfall 2 player. Now, I'm not saying that I'm very decent at all. Of course, there's other people on YouTube that will give you tutorials on how to move, how to grapple, how to bunny hop, all the different routes to run in the maps probably as well. Type in YouTube Titanfall 2 movement. I'm sure there are many videos that probably pop up that could explain how to. And okay, so we've spoken about the movement. The next okay, so we've spoken about the movement, and the next thing that I think Titanfall 2 does really well is no. Okay, so with the movement out of the way, the next thing I think Titanfall 2 does a really good job at is Okay, now we've spoken about the movement, the next thing I think Titanfall 2 does a really good job at is this Titanfall 2 facilitate. Okay, now I've just glowed. So now we've spoken about the movement. I think the next thing to talk about that Titanfall 2 really does well and facilitates is the player agency. Now, I don't really know if that is what everybody would call it. That's what I call it. And this is the ability for players to play the game however they wish to play it, really, within the limits of the game, of course. So what do I mean about player agency? Pilot loadouts come into the game, and here you can select a myriad of different loadouts, different movement options, weapons, ordnance, perks that you can have for your pilot that make a difference to how your pilot plays in the game. Like I said on the movement section just before, you could have the grapple, allowing you to swing around and get above the battlefield for, you know, a higher level of movement and being able to move around the map really quick. Or if you're one of these people, you could use a cloak, and this makes you harder to see from a pilot's perspective. Me personally, I don't really like to be that guy who stands at the back of a map or uses a cloak to, you know, get that little bit of an extra advantage. But I say I personally like to go with the stim, just because it's quicker, and I don't really have enough practice with the grapple to be very effective. One of my favourite things to do is to kind of mix things up. Basic loadout for me would be a stim, an SMG like an R97, a charge rifle, RE45, quick regen, kill report. That's basically my standard loadout. The game allows you to mix things up. So another loadout I do have is the grapple with a G2, and then for my perks I have hover, which allows you to hover in midair, and kill report as well. And now this just mixes it up a little bit. Still allows me to move around the map pretty quick, but obviously as I grapple and high into the air, and then I just start hovering. Titanfall allows you to play the game however really you want to play the game, and there are some loadouts that people would call cheesy or toxic, and we might I might make another video talking about them, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Of course that might just be down to other people's opinion as well, but I think what Titanfall really does is allow you to mix and match different play styles and how you wish to play the game. And you know, I think that is something that games nowadays really struggle to do within themselves. So, Titanfall 2's map design, what do I think? I think Titanfall 2's map design is outstanding. Each map feels very different from the last. They all allow for the fluidity of movement through the game, and they're all designed well for both Titans and pilots as well, and all the different game modes you can play in the game. However, what I would like to say is I would like them to, if they could, this is probably a big ask, I would like them to put all the maps back in from Titanfall 1, such as Lagoon. That's the only one I can remember at the moment, but if Respawn could do anything, I think that would be great. You know, just put all the maps back in Titanfall 2. I think that would make the game feel even just a little bit fresher. That'd be great. I'm just going to list off my favourite couple in no particular order. War Games, that's the top one. Complex, that's a tricky one. I don't think a lot of people like that one. I really like it. And the third one, Angel City, maybe at a push. Okay, so now we've got to talk about the Titans, and this for me is one of the major points why I really love this game. From a young age, watching TV shows such as Robotech or Macross, Transformers, Evangelion, Gundam, which is just there, no Gundam. I've always wanted to pilot, you know, big robots. Who doesn't want to pilot big robots? And this is one of the main ways I get to do it. And there are a couple of different classes of Titan, I would say. It almost becomes like a MOBA-esque kind of game, really. But all the Titans have different loadouts, different abilities that you can use, and they are all used for different scenarios, let's say. So the Monarch or the Tone, you know, these two are pretty standard use, you know, kind of mid-range assault kind of Titans, you know, reasonably quick, not too slow. And then you have the Fat Boys, you got the Legion, you got the Scorch. These are the two support Titans, I would say, really. You know, take a bit more damage, and they are there to, you know, put some fire down, control different areas. But they are a lot slower. which is generally why I don't really play them, because I like to, I like to have that ability to move around, scoot about the place. And after them you have the North Star and the Ronin, which are the skinny boys. And the North Star is the almost sniper class Titan, I would say, that has jetpacks and you can fly around a bit, and is super mobile in verticality, and is a bit quicker than both the Monarch, the Tone, the Legion, and the Scorch. And then you've got the super fast boy, which is the Ronin, who always zips about the place. And now I've got a problem with the Ronins. It's, if I see a Ronin, I think everybody's just trying to show off a bit. It's like, okay, you're in a Ronin, you've got a giant sword, let's just everybody calm down. Okay, but this again allows you to switch and swap how you play with whatever Titan you want. So you might have, say, a pilot using an SMG or a shotgun, and you might want to get really close, and then you might pilot a North Star, okay, which means you can stay at a distance, or a Tone, which means you can snipe from somewhere in the back of the Titans, or somewhere in the back of the map, and get those long line of sight. Now also, whilst piloting a Titan, and I don't know if this applies only to me really, but the way the Titan feels when you're playing as the Titan while you're piloting your Titan is really heavy. To move around, you really get the sense that you are in like a 3-story robot. I have noticed that when I throw a punch in a Titan, my whole body tends to move with the Titan. Like my whole body will lurch forward as the Titan lurches forward, as if I was playing, like a racing game like Forza. I'm trying to make a tight corner. Your whole body kind of leans over. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Possible. But yeah, Titans. That's one of the big things. And I also think it may be one of the things that puts people off. Really, is that seeing it as kind of a I don't know if it's the right term, anime-ish or childlike maybe. I don't think that's the case really. I think it just adds another level of play. And I think also when you're in Titans, the teamwork aspects of everybody in a Titan working together, I think, is a lot more so than when you are a pilot. When you're a pilot, you can just run around and do whatever you want pretty much. It's pretty much just like a random team deathmatch, and anybody's, anything goes, everybody just does whatever they want. But I think as a Titan, I think it is up to you to support your other fellow Titans. Like I said, the Legion is not as fast as the Ronin. So, if you have a Ronin and a Legion supporting each other, you have the best of both worlds, right? Or if you have a Monarch and, a North Star, maybe, you've got the best of both worlds. It's always better to stay grouped up as Titans rather than try and go off and be the hero, that you think everybody deserves, and not be the hero that, everybody needs. Yeah. And I think... Okay, and that is it for this video. If you would like to subscribe, do so down below and give me a like, and also comment why you yourself play Titanfall, if you do, and if you don't, give it a go. Find me on Twitch. I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Join me over there. I do play Titanfall 2 and other games as well. So, thank you, and I'll see you next time.